So I've been to Tajikistan several times. It's a country that I really love. I like the people. I like the environment. It's not a beautiful country in some ways because it's very dry and desert at some points, but it's also got some great agricultural land. It's got some of the best apricot production land in the world. It produces cotton and a number of other products. It's a beautiful place. Dushanbe is the capital. Kujong is the second largest city. And I've done a lot of work in Isfara, which is outside of Kujong. Between Dushanbe and Kajong is a tunnel. It's called the Anjab Tunnel. And this tunnel is, the first time I learned about it was when I was in it. And the tunnel is 3.13 miles long. You're at about 8,000, 9,000 feet in elevation. And you've gone up a road that goes like this to get up to that point. And it's not a paved road. It's paved, but it's not a freeway. It's not a highway by any means. And as you're driving up, you see the trucks, the bodies, the skeletons of trucks and cars that have failed to make it up there. And you're driving, with a driver. Most time we're in an SUV, either a Toyota Land Cruiser or something like that. And the driver's, he's passing people and there's trucks coming at him. People are honking their horn. And then you come around the corner and you're going up the road as fast as you can. You come across a truck that's barely making it up there. It's not going to make it. The power is there and they've got a heavy load. So you're tired because you've also just traveled probably about 30 hours to get to Dushanbe. And so you take this tunnel, or this road up. And it's actually, what is it? It's highway is M23, I think they call it. M34, highway M34. So you take this M34 up, you get up there, and when you get up top, there's a tunnel. And the tunnel is 3.13 miles long. And it opened in 2006, but it wasn't finished. And I went in it probably to around 2010, 2012. It didn't open again until 2000, or didn't finish. It finished about 2015. It started with the local people were doing it, and then the Iranians took over doing it, and then the Chinese took over doing it. So had gone through many hands. And the first time I was in it, I was tired. Had been driving, or been riding. I hadn't been driving for a long time and flying. And I was asleep, and I woke up, and I'm in a tunnel. And I was in the tunnel. It's 3.13 miles long, and you're probably on an average going 5 miles an hour. So it takes a long time to get through this tunnel. And you go through the tunnel, and it's leaking water out of the top, and it's bubbling water out of the bottom. And there's cars going like this. And it's a tunnel that if you panic, you will panic because it is scary. There are very little lights in there. We did come to a section where there were some lights and there were some people working. So there's big spotlights shining down and people are there with their jackhammers, no masks, no helmets, no protective anything. The air is terrible inside there because you're in a tunnel that's 3.13 miles long and all the car exhaust, and those cars aren't DEQ certified. They are trucks that have been, they're burning too much oil, or they're diesel trucks, and that air is not safe. And there's people just in there working. How many of them survive and how many die shortly because of the cancer or whatever they get from their lungs being filled with this terrible air. And so it's a terrible tunnel. Finally, you get to the other end after 45 minutes inside a tunnel, 45 minutes in darkness with cars coming at you and water everywhere. And you're going through bumps and potholes and everything else. And then when you get to the other side, if you're going from Dushanbe or going from Kajong to Dushanbe, when you get to the other side, you got the road going down like this. Now, I can't quite figure it out because when you're going from Dushanbe to Kajong, you get through the tunnel and it's kind of flat. You don't really go back down. You do go back down, but none of this stuff. It's much more smooth. It's still not a good freeway. So I did that once. The second time I did it, that was okay. The second time I did it was several years later, and the tunnel was finished. So the tunnel was, again, still 3.13 miles. It still wasn't fun, but you weren't going 5 miles an hour. You were probably going 25, 30, 35 miles an hour, and it's smoother. And the water's not dripping from the top. The water's not bubbling up from the bottom. And cars were pretty much staying in their lane. So that was much better. One time I was in Isfara, and we had to get to Dushanbe. And they said, okay, I will drive tomorrow. I'm not riding with you over those tunnels. There's no way. I said, what if I fly? Oh, but the flight's $35. Everyone, $35? I'm flying. I'm not, my life is worth more than that $35. And I can't imagine how they can fly a plane for $35. You're like, it's $35 for an hour flight. Is it really safe? I mean, how safe can it be? How much security can the plane have? How much maintenance can it have when they're only charging $35 for a passenger to go between the two cities? It said, I don't care. I'm not going to drive over that. It's wintertime. I've seen cars over the side in the summertime. I've been on that road. It's one of those roads where, and because I'm, a lot of times I'm the official. I'm was the more senior person in the car. Maybe it's because I was the oldest, but at that time it wasn't. So anyway, I'd be in the front seat and I would fall asleep. I would take a nap. I would close my eyes because I'd say, if I'm going to go off the side, I don't want to see it. If I'm going to die, I don't want to see it. If I'm going to wake up in a hospital, I just want to wake up in the hospital. So I'd close my eyes and sleep up there. But as you're going like this and everything else, it's hard to sleep. Like I say, the second time I went through the tunnel, it was fine. The third time, I'm like, I'm just not doing it. It's wintertime. There's no way. My guests, or my hosts, they drove. They got up at 4 o'clock in the morning. They drove over there, and they met me there. And they'd been driving for 6 hours to get there. I was, at the airport and comfortably on a flight for, less than 45 minutes. If you have some time and you want to look it up, take a look at the tunnel from hell. That's actually, I just searched it online in Wikipedia. By searching tunnel from hell, Wikipedia finds it because that's what it is. I have seen some decent videos online with it. I couldn't take a decent video because it's dark. So taking a picture in a dark tunnel, you don't get much. You get darkness. And so it's I don't think I have any decent videos or pictures of the tunnel. I have the experience, and now I've shared it with you. I guess the moral of the story is if you have a chance to fly, fly. They talk about the fact that the flights are the safest means of transportation. We hear about a plane wreck. We hear about the disappearance of planes. We hear about planes failing or taking emergency landing. But it is still the safest per mile of traveling anywhere. The thing is, when a plane wrecks, it's 200, 300 people at a time. When a car wreck, it's 2 or 3 people. So it's much bigger news. But it's a lot safer to fly, and particularly when you're facing the tunnel from hell, I recommend flying rather than driving.